Fantom starts off the year strong, up 6% here on the first day of the new year, bouncing from a critical level. What is my current 2024 take on Fantom? Where do I see near-term price action going in? Am I still holding this project? Loads to get in and a lot more. Smash up the likes. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, guys, this is set to be a huge 2024 for crypto. I'm going to be here with you along the way. Make sure you've smashed that like button. Make sure you're part of our Telegram community, ijazcrypto.com/TG. I will not steer you wrong this year. And you guys know I've been delivering over 2 years of consistent daily content, even when the markets are not on our side. Guys, check this out here on Fantom. A powerful daily candle here, moving to the upside, 6% here on a day where Bitcoin is moving 1%. That's 6 times the movement we're seeing on Bitcoin as Bitcoin stalls at around that 42.5k mark. But what's more important is the technical pattern we are seeing here. So I'm going to show you where I see the near-term price action going and why I continue to think Fantom has a long way to go this year. If you appreciate that, support the channel. Check out the links in the description to Bybit, to BitGet, the 2 platforms I personally use to trade, which support the channel as well. Guys, first and foremost, you can see here, Fantom had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days last week. Of course, look at the volumes. Very, very thin volumes over the festive period, right? It consolidated all the way down. But what do you need anytime this happens? Anytime you've had an extended move, you expect a consolidation. Came back into its daily EMA ribbon, and now we're getting that bounce. Really, really good. But a bounce is only complete if what conditions are met, guys. If you've taken my TA course, ijazcrypto.com/TA, you'll be shouting the answer at the screen. You have to create a higher high. It's all good you doing this, but you can't do this. This is now creating a downward trend. So with your higher low, this was the previous low, this is now a higher low. You've got one high. You have to post a higher high. If you cannot post a higher high here on Fantom, you've lost your upward trend. So it's very, very positive that the Fantom has bounced from the EMA ribbon. Nice. But you need to get above 56 cents here on Fantom, create a new local high, and continue this upward trend. Now, a lot of questions you guys may be asking is, am I adding Fantom? Would I add Fantom at 50 cents? Now, let's start this off from a bit more of a longer term picture, right? Longer term, do I see Fantom as well priced here at the 50 cents mark? Do I think it's overvalued? Do I think it's undervalued? Well, take a look at where we're at, right? This is called a Fibonacci retracement lines. And what I've done is I've gone from the 0 line on the weekly chart and I've gone to the 100% line. And what you see is this is the Fibonacci golden pocket. Now, if you follow my TA course again, you'll be very familiar with Fibonacci ratios and how these work. But this is a very normal price for prices to retrace to after a move we've seen like this. So Fantom getting to $2.22 to $2.33 range in this golden pocket, what they call the golden pocket, for me is like a base case. I fully expect this to happen in a bull market, given that Fantom not only managed to survive this bear market, but now are setting themselves up for a powerful bull market as well. So if you look at the risk to return, if I'm paying 50 cents today for Fantom, and I personally, this is not your conviction, this is my conviction, I personally think it will return back to $2.22 and $2.33. I mean, that's a 4.5x on your money. And what I would say is not a crazy risky play, it's a moderate risk to return play. Now, where things get a little bit more interesting is, do I think this project can go back to all-time highs? And then we're talking kind of in that region of $3.30 range. That now presents it as a 6x on your money, or 6.5x on your money if you're buying now at 50. And that doesn't take into account the fact that I was lucky enough, and many of you watching this were DCAing low enough at 17 cents, 18 cents, 20 cents, 22, maybe 30 cents. And so maybe you've got yourself a nice cost basis. I'm just judging this on if you piled in now. Even if I bought now at 50 cents and I'm looking at a return back to all-time highs, that presents a 6x. And here's what's crazy. When you jump on over to CoinMarketCap and you take a look at the market cap of Fantom, even now after the recent kind of upward trend we've just seen, along with the wider market, you're sitting at a market cap of $1.4 billion here on Fantom. Now, that puts it in just about in the top 60. That's crazy. So to return to all-time highs, a 6x, okay, what you're basically saying is that the market cap can get to about $9 billion, right? A 6x from here is going to get you to about $9 billion, slightly less. So let's take a look at which projects now are above $9 billion before this bull market's even kicked into gear. So you're looking at the likes of Chainlink in size. You're looking at the likes of Tron is already bigger than 9 billion. Polygon Matic is already bigger than 9 billion. Polkadot is sitting at 10.5 billion. Dogecoin, a meme coin, which can argue, very little use case, is sitting at 13 billion. Avalanche, which many people say has comparable tech to Fantom, is sitting at $14.6 billion in market cap. But here's what's crazy. With Fantom, with Avalanche, which is another project I like, I think the technology is amazing, similar to Fantom, look at the circulating supply. Where Fantom circulating supply is around 88%-ish, you've got 50% circulating supply for something like Avalanche. So yes, there is more transactions happening on Avalanche at the moment. Yes, there's more institutional interest in a project like Avalanche, but you've got to take into account the fully diluted market cap. The fully diluted market cap, taking into account the circulating supply for Avalanche, is really $28 billion right now. $28 billion right now. So it's much bigger here. It's over 20 to 23x the size of Fantom right now, fully diluted compared to fully diluted, which you've got to take into consideration. So when you start to look at this and you start to look at all these other projects which are already much bigger, right? You look at the likes of Cardano. Again, yes, they've done a good job of building their DeFi, sitting at 21 billion. To make the argument that when the bull market is ensuing and everything's going crazy, Bitcoin's going crazy, Ethereum's going crazy, Solana's going to continue to go crazy. It's already sitting at 45 billion on Solana. You expect it to go much more in a bull market. To make the argument that in that kind of environment, Fantom can't even get to 9 billion, right? When Avalanche right now is sat at 28 billion, for me, that's a crazy misvaluation in the project, and that's the reason I like the project. Now, when you start to look at a little bit more kind of exciting price targets, still I think conservative is kind of getting up to that 5.5, right? Can you get up towards that 5.5 market cap, which presents an 11x, right? 11x is now talking, okay, can we get to kind of 15 billion in valuation? Right? 15 billion in evaluation for Fantom in this next year or in this next cycle, and you getting 11x money return on your money. Not too shabby, right? Now, again, do I think this is the only target it hit? No. I think Fantom could surprise a lot of people. I think it can eclipse all-time highs, eclipse these targets, and really start to work through. But they've got a lot of work to do, right? They really have to get good use cases on. They've really got to prove and remind the world of what they were once doing in the last cycle in terms of DeFi, in terms of good dApps, in terms of people wanting to use Fantom, low transaction fees, easy to use. They need to remind people of that, right? If they cannot do that, they're not going to see those crazy valuations, right? They have to be able to do that. Now, ultimately, you got to remember, when the market gets hot, when this Bitcoin cycle starts to move, where does money flow to? We know we've covered this many, many times. It flows from Bitcoin into the likes of Ethereum. You're seeing Solana pump because they're the bigger market cap projects. You'll see things like ADA pump. And then eventually people start looking for yield and they have to dig a bit deeper. And that's where they start to find more hidden, undervalued gems. And that's pretty much where the likes of something like Fantom or Algorand will sit. They can catch one of the second or third pumps after the obvious ones, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, XRP. It can catch one later on. Now, am I actively adding in this market here today? No, I'm not actively adding right now, simply because, you guys know I don't want to chase green. And so if I look here on the weekly chart, look at where we're at. If we see a little bit of a consolidation, I'm more than happy to kind of add a little bit more around some support areas. So if we're coming down to weekly support around 37 cents to about 40, 41, 42 cents, I'm happy to nibble in this kind of a region here. So if I draw you a little box, I kind of want to be waiting for a pullback here. If we don't get one, great. I'm okay. You can carry on running, but at some point, it's going to want to pull back, right? Even if it goes an extended move, it'll want to touch back here, and then I'll be happy to buy at support. Always want to buy from positions of strength and not chase the price action. So particularly when I've been lucky enough to buy at such cheap price points further down here on Fantom, I wouldn't be chasing it. But when I simply do a mathematical calculation of risk to return, I still think Fantom is undervalued, and nobody can change my opinion just yet on that. Yes, they've got a bunch of work to do. Yes, they've got to do some better marketing. Yes, they've got to get their DeFi money coming back into the system as risk rotates on. That's very, very important. But if they can do it, this provides a very significant risk to return in its favor, in my opinion. Now, guys, if you want to know actively which coins am I trading, how am I trading, what is my strategy, how do I generate over 350% returns in December trading? Yes, I took about 20 to 22 trades in December and generated 350% with a repeatable, sustainable strategy. If you want to learn from me, I'm on a journey to teach 100,000 committed people who want to actually become crypto traders. Not these moon boys and these people who are just going to be degens and leverage trade everywhere. No, if you actually want to become a crypto trader, join our Telegram group, ijazcrypto.com/TG. We're going to have a huge 2024, and I want to see you in there. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you in the next one.